Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a follow-up video to that stats video that I recently put out. That behavior gave us the numbers to play with. And one thing that in my delusion, hubris, whatever you want to call it, I failed to mention in that video and even in some of the comments are the things that weren't mentioned. It was actually a combination of two places that are misleading me to make this video. First, there was a comment by unknown person 9250 that said, where my question is, why the is off the record or decisive strike not on the list. Now, I agree, that was pretty funny that looking back at it, for once, you're telling me Decisive isn't on this list, but Bond is? What? And you're telling me that people have stopped running off the record to the point that we're actually using Kindred? That's insane to me. But then, that's a side that I don't really play myself too often. More that I observe and I go, alright, cool, they all ran, whatever, right? And I kind of don't think about what they're running at the moment too much. I really just autopilot once I get to the end of the game, if I'm being honest. I just click continue and go next, right? But here comes the thing that the real reason I'm really making this video, if I'm being quite honest, it's because I fucking told you so. I told you so hard on one thing, and it's insane. And the reason I'm just now realizing that I told everybody this, even when I made a video about it, is because of this tweet. Now, once again, I usually try to keep things blank, but if I'm going to rip off, in a way, somebody's content or what they're talking about, I have to give them credit. So, you all have seen Hens. He's a DBD streamer and YouTuber, and he was talking about how he updated his best builds on his website, and Grim Embrace took over that. And you go, but you didn't say Grim Embrace. What are you didn't tell us anything about that. In fact, you disagree with him. That is correct. I do disagree. I think we're doing the same thing with Grim Embrace that we did with Ultimate Weapon. It's not here. You got one person there that's tied for Spies from the Shadows, a perk that I actually use unironically on Zeno. But it's not here. Do you see Ultimate Weapon on this list? I don't. Because I told you it wasn't that much of a problem. Everybody was losing their bananas over this perk. That, like I said, you have to go out of your way to trigger, hope that they don't have Calm Spirit, and then the way you get the information lets them know you have the information. It's not that amazing of a perk as people were making it out to seem. It didn't even crack top 10. You're telling me more people are running Bamboozle than Ultimate Weapon? That's insane. And you go, but Ultimate Weapon wasn't out in this time period, right? No. Ultimate Weapon was out. And this was December 30th through January 29th. I have friggin' browser capture so you can't see, but the date of recording is February 15th. So, you're telling me that last month nobody was running the perk that I told you wasn't an issue? You all were losing your fucking minds over this perk. I could not believe it. So tell me why I was so wrong back then for telling you it's not an issue when you don't see it here. And hey, again, you don't even have to be like, well, you could have whatever opinion you want about somebody else, right? Also, don't talk negative about people in my comment section. We don't do that around here. If I'm referencing somebody, you're going to keep it positive, right? Right? Okay, got that? But if we're saying that it's not even up here. And hey, you're telling me that Hex Ruin in its current state is, used more for some of these best builds from somebody that really knows the game. Then hey, what what happened, right? What happened to Ultimate Weapon? It didn't get nerfed. It has not been nerfed. So tell me what you all didn't see, or that you saw that I still don't see improved. Wasn't there. Everybody was scared of this boogeyman of a perk. I'm telling you, holy crap. This is the. I take back some of the negative things I said about this being useless. Now I just get complete vindication. Because there was no way that you all were losing your minds over that perk like that. Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing. I can find people." And like I said, it tells people that you found them so they can start running. You don't have a chance to get closer within that tear radius. If they weren't immediately next to you while you open the locker, given most of the bad guys in this roster are 32-meter tear radius, like that's the standard, right? That's 32 meters of pre-running, cause now they know you know. Compared to like, oh, let me just wait until the heartbeat is like right there. You just leave. And if they didn't, they had Calm Spirit. And if they didn't have either one of those, sure, some information. But there was ways to play around it. Compared to what everybody fucking act like it wasn't. It was impossible to play around. Oh no, they know where I am! So what do I do? Which, funny enough, kind of proves the true Neoteric's point about information to an extent. Me and him were having a conversation about, how useful information is. I'm of the mindset that all information is good information, and I'm not going to try to argue his point in case I misconstrue it, but I'll say he doesn't see it the same way I does. If Neo is in the comment section, maybe he can expand upon it if he wants. Um, so yeah, um, and again, we're not being mean to anybody in this comment section. Not my friends, not the hens. We're not doing that. But I'll just say my piece on you have information and you know what to do with it. But this perk, Ultimate Weapon, was not as good as everybody tried to make it seem. That was ridiculous. And sorry, Hems, I think Grim Embrace is in the same category right now too. If you don't tunnel the first person, you've already blown through half of its usefulness in the first. Same with kind of Pain Res, where Pain Res at least regresses the gen. The other problem that I want to talk about Grim Embrace, and while we're transitioning to that, is another reason why I disagree, is because there's a fundamental principle that I've always had a problem with when it comes to using the perk. And if you look back at my videos, I've actually liked it even before its recent buff. I've talked about how I like the challenge. I just wish that the number tweak was there. I've done a couple of videos using it. But the fundamental issue that I have with Grim Embrace, and you'll wonder why it's not here, is because, well, it just got changed. So, you'll probably see it in in the next one, because everybody is swearing up and down that it's actually useful more than it is. It's not. Just run corrupt and go next. Like, it's really not. But the problem with Grim Embrace that I found in all of my testing on the entire roster with trying to utilize it is one thing, right? You can't really put it on somebody that has built-in slowdown and you go, why? Shouldn't I want more slowdown with my slowdown? No, because it's what's the term? You are getting less the more you put on. It is there's a term for it, and I'm blanking on it while I'm making this enraged video. Diminishing returns. That's what it is. You're getting diminishing returns, and here's why. If you have a character, say Wesker, that has a built-in slowdown, the infection, right? You want to make sure that you don't reach max infection, or if you get there, you then want to spray, right? The thing that happens when people have nothing else to do is they do your slowdown, or when they have a chance. And given how you're probably not always chasing the right person, that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, you've gotten 30 seconds on a gen, where you know gens won't be done for 30 seconds. But the person that was ready to risk it for a biscuit on that infection to crank the gen, now is just going to make other use of their time, like cleansing the infection. Or another one that, or like somebody where they don't really have anything else to do, like with Zeno, they then just get the turret. Singularity. They just make sure they have another EMP. So you can't throw it on everybody or Cenobite. You go, awesome, that's 30 seconds. They're not on the gen. I have built-in slowdown, so it's already working. But then they just go do the box. And, or one person goes to grab the box because they got nothing better to do. So you just end up making people more efficient than you want to, depending on who you're using. Like on Plague, if all the gens are blocked, you might as well get rid of being infected, right? And then you go back to the gen, and you can only chase one person at a time. So, hey, and you don't have map mobility as Plague, so you pick up one of the corrupt purges, and you get one person, and then you do it again for the next person. Sure, that was 2 downs at best, assuming everything went a-okay immediately when you wanted it to, right? Like, you're not getting that. Now, on the flip side, you go, well, Pig should be a great example of what, just getting you time to use it, but at the same time, you're giving them time with Pig. Because if the gens don't pop, the timer doesn't start. But now I have time to put a trap on somebody else, and they have time to get it off, because we already know that Pig isn't the best. Well, hey, according to this, top 10, baby. But, that's another thing. So, yes, this was a video of I told you so's. And also, don't fall into traps again for future perks. Now, hey, this will be one I agree to disagree on, because you go, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have as much game time as someone like Hens. But I do feel pretty vindicated where I've already called one and I'm ready to call another. I, I don't think I think people are blowing things out of proportion once more when it comes to Grim Embrace, and I really told you so with Ultimate Weapon. I do agree with the follow up that there needs to be a meta shakeup to, one should be coming, hopefully, please. Like, please, that'd be nice. But that's because I talk about all the things that you don't run on each side. Like, I know that I've gone on depth on the killer side because that's the one that I'm most familiar with, and I can't tell you all the useless survivor perks. But I can tell you, if you look at one of my video where I ranked everything on useful and fun and like fun and useful, there was a whole backstory to that. But, I've gone through all of them, and you'd be surprised how many are fun to use and useful. Not just useful and not just fun, right? So, hey, it'd be nice if we got something a little bit different. And people could stop acting like there is 4 slowdowns every game. Apparently, that's not even the case here. True, probably now there's Surge, Pain Res, Pop, Grim Embrace, but we've learned with Grim Embrace and Pop, or Deadlock and Pop and Pass, you kind of just make it so that you're operating on a time limit with yourself for no reason. And then, hey, I'm telling you, I don't understand what people's things going on lately are. I made a video a while back. I keep referencing my old videos. I'm sorry, but talking about like popular doesn't equal problem. And I think that really needs to be driven home. I don't understand why people just seem to go, "Oh well, these top five are the top five, so that's a problem." And that's one thing that's always irked me about behaviors balance. Like, why are we changing Sloppy Butcher coming up? What are we doing here? Why is this getting a change? I don't care. It could be a buff for all I care, but it doesn't need to be changed. It's fine the way it is. Just because it's up here doesn't mean you need to address it, right? So, I don't. And are you going to tell me that they're going to address self care soon because it's up here? Are they going to nerf it again? Like I don't know. So that's just me trying to wrap up this soapbox, but I got a lot of fire in the tank right now. All to say that I told you about Ultimate Weapon. It wasn't that good. I'm telling you right now about Grim Embrace. It really isn't that good. And stop falling for, okay, it's better than the other 130, so that means that we have to talk about it and use it to the grave. So yeah, thanks to Hens. He probably doesn't know that this video exists, or that this is out here, but hey, if he sees it, he sees it. Thanks for this. And thanks, Behavior, for giving me validation to point and laugh at people that really tried to say that Ultimate Weapon was the bee's knees to end all knees of bees. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment from a comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.